So then she found them and they were on her front line, and that alone would make her a lot of money, right? So it will always work if you just keep going. But that's the only time I'll make an exception to that rule, and again, it almost never happens. You will find yourself going, oh, but you know what, she keeps talking about building and she's trying to share, but she just had a baby and if you're making excuses for why they're not doing it, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to have to suffer consequences for making that decision. It's not they're good or they're bad. It's not about that. It's about these are the builder requirements, and it's just kind of a follow the rules. It's an analytical thing. If they're doing it, then we treat them like that kind of builder. If they're not doing it, they're not that kind of builder. So we just help them with what they want to do, but don't put your builders under them. We had a question right here.
So when you're starting out, if you don't have 3 minutes and you're still finding people, you might keep finding builders, then you just rotate or keep putting them underneath their builders, or how do you decide?
Yes. So let's say, you keep doing it like this. And guess what? By now, the only reason you're going to put a builder under Sam is because he's doing what he's supposed to, right? So he's going to end up with builders. So let's say he has a builder, this person has found 2 builders, and this person has a builder. So now when you start getting new builders, you'll always have places to put them. Because if people are doing what they're supposed to now. One of the hard things is, what if you're just starting, you don't have any builders yet, and you've got these people that you have to place because it's with, you're to the 30 days. Just follow the rules as closely as you can. So if you don't have any number 3s, then use your number 2s as your builders. I mean, you don't have a number 3, you don't have a number 3, there's nothing you can do about it. So just do it as closely as you can. Because a number 2, I'll tell you what, one of the things I'm saving you from is this. If this person is not a builder and you keep putting builders under this leg, guess who's in charge of taking care of everybody on that team? You! And you do not have time. You will be in a situation like I was, where you have 50 people who need you to personally take care of them. You can't do that. Go ahead. It's true. It's totally true. Now see, this is Maria and I, we were in it kind of at the beginning before we kind of learned some of these things, and we know what it's like. Oh, sorry. She said, and the people beneath them will resent what's going on too. When you're trying your hardest, there are times I'm giving everything I can because I have all these builders and it's never enough. It's never good enough, and I'm a horrible leader, right? And that's why I don't want you guys to have to go through that. Did I have a question back there?
So what do you do with your random 1s and 2s?
Your random 1s and 2s? Okay, that's a good question.
Start to build, and then you have these.
And we will end with that. I'll show you, and we're going to end because we need to get to the spa stuff. So, I'll leave it just like this. Okay, so let's say your 1s and 2s and your consumers, I'll just call them that. And don't ever make them feel subpar, right? They're awesome. Most network marketing companies, 80% of your downline is consumers. And you make a lot of money doing that. With doTERRA, our percentage of builders is so much higher. And I'll tell you what, it'll be higher if you use the 3 pathways like I taught you. Okay, so if I have consumers or 1s and 2s, I'm going to treat those all exactly the same. I'm going to treat them exactly the same as far as placing. I'm going to help them how they want to be helped. And number 2, I'm going to be spending more time with them because they're, building kind of medium or whatever. Yeah. Oh yes, thank you. I will end with that. Okay, so let me tell this, and then I'll talk about people who are getting something for nothing. Okay, let's see. Consumers 1s and 2s. If I don't want my leaders to have more than 3 to 5 of those on their front line. And what I tell them is don't have more than 3 on your front line. Okay? And now I'll show you how I'll separate those out by little circles. The little circles are 1s, 2s, or consumers. Okay? So you might put a couple on your front line, but honestly, I don't want any on your front line if you can help it. If they're already there, too late. But what's going to happen is I'm personally responsible for helping them. And I need to answer their phone calls. I need to help them. Can I handle 50 on my front line? No. So if I put them under here, should I be the one that's having to take care of those phone calls? No, I'm happy to do it. But I'm telling you, as your team gets bigger, if you do that, even, I don't care if you're a 1 or a 2, it's going to start getting to the point where we have a lot of number 1s who share the oils because they love them. So guess what happens? If I get a 1 or a 2 or a consumer, I'm gonna put them here. I'm gonna go like this, one, the next one goes here, pretend like if there was nothing there, the next one goes here, the next one goes here, and as the team builds, guess what? There are always places to put them. If I have to, I'll do a second one, but part of that rule, and you'll see it on your paper, is don't ever put, I don't let my leaders put anyone underneath someone until they have talked to them first. And this is how you do it, and Lisa, this will answer your question. What you're gonna do with Lisa, who has all those recruits and needs to know what to do, because you've got enough builders on your team. What you're gonna do is, you only put them under builders if you can. The ones, twos, and consumers, right? Now, if I'm gonna put somebody under Sam, now notice, I'm not promising it that I'm gonna put them under there. I'm gonna come to Sam and I'm gonna say, hey, I just talked to this guy named Brian. He's a massage therapist just like you, and he's really interested in the oils. He doesn't really want to build, but he's interested in sharing it with his clients. And I tell whatever the real story is. Tell him the story. Say, this is the situation with Brian, and I'd like to put him on your team. Okay, if I said that to you, what would you think? Yes! Okay. I'd like to put him on, and I would write this down if I were you, because it took me a long time to figure this out. I'd like to put him on your team, but I need to put him underneath someone who is going to be able to do the daily call. Oh wait, he's not a builder, right? Brian's not a builder. I need to put him under somebody who's going to be able to do A, B, C, and D. Whatever those things are. I'll just name a few. I'm not going to name 100. But I'll say, I need someone, I want to put him underneath you, but I need to put him under someone who's going to be able to answer his questions about the oils, help him learn how to help his clients, go in and teach classes at his place if he wants. I'll name some things that make it very clear you will have a responsibility if I put him under you. But I'm not saying it that way so it doesn't come across rude. I'd like to put him under you, but I need to put him under someone who will do A, B, C, and D. Is that something you'd be willing to do? I don't say it that tone, but I say, is that something that you would be willing to do? Do you think I've ever had anybody say no? No, they always say yes. And guess what happens? Instead of, before, this is what we used to get sometimes. If, let's say I found Brian, and Sam would not be taking care of Brian, and I think, what is going on? And Sam would treat it like, well, he's your guy, and I'm busy with my team. And even though Sam's making money off of it. So I do the same thing with a builder. You cannot put a builder under anybody. You're putting them under a builder. Let's say we've got Sarah here. Okay. If I'm going to put Sarah under Sam, because can I put Sarah under Sam if he's not doing all the requirements of a number 3? No. But if I have no other choice and Sam is a number 2 and that's the best bet I have, then I will. But if I don't have to, I won't. I'm going to call Sam and say, hey Sam, I just enrolled this girl Sarah. She wants to be a builder, blah, blah, blah. I'll tell him everything, right? This is the situation with Sarah. I'd like to put her underneath your team. I'd like to put her under as one of your builders, but I need to put her under somebody who's going to be able to do the daily calls with her, do the same thing, A, B, C, do. Who's going to be able to be willing, who's going to be able to do A, B, C, D. I don't say willing. I say who's going to be able to do this and this. And I say, is that something you'd be willing to do? And they always say yes. And guess what else it does? It helps them to be a better builder. It makes them feel like, wow, she's counting on me. She thinks of me this way, like I'm this kind of a leader. It does something to them. And I'll tell you what, my leaders, all these questions, the leaders who have trained with this stuff right from the beginning, they still deal with some of those issues, these questions and concerns and issues, but not nearly like we did. Those of us who started at the beginning, okay? The last thing is a freeloader. And then we'll go into spas. So, and freeloaders, that's kind of a harsh word, I guess. Because, let me tell you this, I will say this first, this is my philosophy, and that is this. And I've had this on my team, and I've had people get mad about it, and I don't think they have any right to get mad. So let's say I have a leader right here, I'll call him Kim, okay? I've got Kim, and Kim doesn't necessarily want to be a builder, or she might, or we don't know, but she enrolls Ashley, okay? And Ashley goes nuts. Ashley goes nuts, and Kim doesn't want to build. Ashley builds a crazy team, and pretty soon Kim is making $4,000 a month. That has happened. Should we be mad at Kim? Should we feel like that's not fair that she gets that or whatever? No. She brought that person in, and that's why we're all doing network marketing. Every single one of us is doing this because we think, well, if we share it and they share it, then maybe I'll get that residual income. So guess what? Thank heaven for them, and thank heaven that they brought that Kim brought Ashley to my team. I should be grateful, I should be mad. But I'm sure that that's not what you're talking about, but that does happen. You need to get over it, because that is, they deserve it. That's part of it. I should get to stop tomorrow, and my check keeps going up every month. It will. If I never do another thing, my check will continue to go up, and I should never have one person say to me, well, you should really be doing this. No, the whole reason I did this business is so that I can stop when I want, but I'm not nearly done, because now I feel like, okay, now I know what to do. Now let's go do it right. So, okay, so by the way, I just hit elite on my second presidential diamond leg. Yeah. That's a possibility. And he said, oh, thank you. He said, can you get Ashley's enrollership? When it gets like that, and well, this is the deal. Sometimes, like, if Ashley did that on her own, if I didn't do all the work, then I'm just lucky if she'll give me the enrollership. I have paid someone one time to give me enrollership. I offered it as a business option. I said, I have a business proposition for you. She wasn't building at all. She wasn't interested. And I said, if I pay you this much money, would you let me have the enrollership? And for the next, 5 months or something, I'll still keep track of the fast starts, and I'll start building that leg. And, totally doing that. So you'll start making more, but I know you're going to miss out on fast starts for a little while. So, and whatever you feel like is fair or good. And guess what? If it's worth it to them, they'll do it. If you really want to do it, you could offer more, whatever. This is their business. So they can give you the enrollership. You have to get it from Kim. If you want Ashley to count for you, you have to get it from Kim.
Is there any time period to get that, change that enrollership?
Not for enrollership. Not for enrollership. It's indefinite, but there's only one transfer of enrollership ever. The sponsor, there's only one transfer of sponsorship ever, but that is within 30 days. Once the 30 days is up, you're done. Okay? Now, as far as, well, let me kind of finish this, because I didn't really speak to that. I will not let my leaders build a team for anyone else, unless it's their parents, because it is not healthy for you. We'll leave it like this. Let's say that Ashley is Kim's child. Sometimes Kim will say to me, well, Ashley's come upon hard times, and she just really had a bad boyfriend that year. Whatever, I don't care what the situation is, and I come across it a lot. But it's not about money or any of that. For me, I told you psychology is my background. It is so unhealthy for you to give somebody something for nothing, and you will have problems from it, as you know, right? And so sometimes it happens because it's our fault. Sometimes someone on your team does it, and you just have to deal with those problems. But starting now, this is what you could do to make sure it doesn't happen. If Kim says, I'm going to build my Ashley, this is the deal. And they can do whatever they want, right? I'm not the boss of them. But if they would like me to train them and spend my day-to-day calls and do all that time and do all the stuff I would do, if they're not local, I fly out once a month and do a class with them and help them with their other class. I'm making sure that they're succeeding in doing those things on the list that we talked about. If we're going to take that kind of time, they've got to follow those rules, because I've seen what happens when they don't, and then I end up spending a ton of time helping them deal with the problems. So if she wants to build Ashley, I tell her, well, you can't do that until you hit diamond. When you hit diamond, then you can do whatever you want. So you've got to find another third leg. So if they find a builder, they can't put them under Ashley. They have to put them on their front line. And then you just continue following those same other rules. Now, the reason I let them do it if it's their parents, I'll only let them do it once. Like they can't have, here, I'll do this. If this is you, and you're going to build 3 legs, and this is your parents, let's say if your parents are divorced or whatever, or you want to build for your parents and your husband's parents or whatever, then you can't. You have to pick one, and you can build 1 leg, because otherwise it's too much. You get to a point where you can't handle it all. You start losing builders, you can't take care of your leaders. I don't let anybody start with 4 legs unless they have managed teams of over 100 people in jobs before. And anyway, so if this is your parent, then you can build that leg, because it is healthy to help your parents as they get older. That is a healthy thing. But it is not healthy to do it for anybody else. Because if you want to help someone, you can build your team the right way, make money, and help them with the money that you've earned. But if you build it for them, you create an attitude of dependency. And that's the last thing we want in doTERRA. You're not being a good leader if you do that. So, but if you're gonna build for your parents, this is what I tell my leaders. If they say, well, I would like to build for my parents, then I say, okay, that's great. But if we're gonna do that, you need to realize that you are committing to finding 5 business builders instead of 3. Because you've got to find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because even though they're going to build it for their parents, I am not going to let them be in a situation where they have to manage the entire team. We need leaders who will manage each of their own teams. And then what happens when we do it this way is that every single, look, I mean, this isn't even that many people. And look how it starts to fill in, it starts to get nuts. Do you think if we do it the wrong way, that we're able to take care of these people the right way? No, we don't have time to help them learn how to do the oils and help them with their families with the oils if we don't do it right. And so this creates a situation where nobody is doing too much. Can raise your hand if you think you can handle 3 builders. The daily call, okay? Can you handle 3 builders plus 3 people on your front line, like 3 consumers or 1 or 2? Do you think you can handle that? Yeah, every single person can handle that. But how many of you would get overwhelmed if you've got 100 people that you are personally responsible for who keep trying to contact? Yes. And some of you in this room are dealing with that, Lisa.
So I know you want to move on, but just answer one question for me. So a lot of the people that I brought on, and I texted my company said earlier too.
Okay.
Most of the people I brought on are consumers or
Right.
ones.
Yes.
I mean, I can sell oils day and night, that's no problem. So I've been placing them, and I don't have a problem going to my leaders and saying, okay, I'm putting people underneath you, you need to help work with them. How do I tell somebody that I know personally that has a relationship with me?
Okay,
You
good
don't
question.
call me anymore, you
Okay.
don't call them without making them feel like.
Yes, and you have relationships with people because of what you've done. So what I'll do is, let's say I've already got too many people on my front line, and I know I'm not going to be able to take good care of somebody if I put them on my front line. And let's say it's a friend in my neighborhood even. I want to put them on my front line, but this is what I do. I do the call. I call Lisa. I say, Lisa, you know, I do the little talk with her. She says, oh yeah, I'd love to take them. I say, okay, so don't call her yet. What I want to do, let's say I want to put, what's the name? I want to put Pam. I want to put Pam underneath you, and I have a conversation. Okay? After, when I talk to Lisa, I say, okay, don't call her yet. I'm going to call Pam and let her know that we're going to be working with her. So I call Pam, and you think I say, Pam, I'm going to have you work with Lisa. No, I say, hey Pam, I'm super excited. I have someone that I work with in doTERRA. Her name is Lisa, and she knows a ton about the oils. She's really good about this. She has a son who has autism just like your kid, or whatever the reason that I thought it would be good for them to work together. And I say, and so we work together in doTERRA, but I want to introduce you to her because she's going to be helping you too. Because I want you to get the support you need. So you see how I'm going to help her feel like we're both going to be helping you. But what's going to happen is Lisa and Pam are going to create a relationship over time as Lisa's helping Pam, that pretty soon Pam I don't want Pam to feel like I don't want to talk to her. So they're going to create a friendship, and then they're totally fine. Pam's totally fine working with Lisa, but she can call me too. But Lisa's job right here is to make sure that Pam feels comfortable, that she becomes Pam's friend, and not as it's sincere. I'm helping you with the oils so that Pam wants to go to Lisa. And when I start, guess what? If Lisa doesn't, this isn't this Lisa, of course, if Lisa doesn't do a good job taking care of Pam and I'm still having to do all the work, do you think the next consumer I get, I'm putting under Lisa? No. I'm going to put them under someone else. And I'm not going to go, oh, well, she was trying really hard, and she, you know, she's just had a hard time, or she's so busy at work. Too bad. That sounds rude, but you know what I mean? This part is analytical. It is just about, if A, then B. If A is happening, then put Pam under there. If it's not happening, then don't put Pam there. It's super simple, but you get caught up in emotions, and it is hard.
If they haven't had past management experience, advise someone to start their fourth leg.
Oh, if they haven't had past management experience, when do they start the 4th leg? This is very basically, this is what I do. Okay, let's say you've got your 3. As soon as one of these people is either at their $1,500 bonus or really independent. So independent that you're not needing to do the daily calls anymore. They're busy doing their team. they kind of don't have time for you, you know, you still talk and you're helping them still. At that point, you start a fourth. So let's say this person becomes independent, you start this way. When this person becomes independent, you start your fifth. And you may not be able to find a builder immediately, but you start looking for one. Right at that point, or right when you notice they're on the cusp of that, you're looking for another builder. And that's when you start it. Because if they're at the $1,500 bonus, I'll tell you right now, they know what they're doing. If you notice, sometimes you'll have a builder who doesn't want to be weaned. You help them get weaned. You know what I mean? You kind of, like if I have somebody, for example, sometimes I'll have a builder who calls me about every single ailment. And at first, I'm going to take their call and I'm going to say, yeah, okay, so for asthma, you would use Breathe and do this many drops. I'm going to do that. But if they keep doing that and they've got the book, you know, and if they keep doing that, after a week, I'm going to say, okay, what I want you to do is I want you to go look in the book. So I'm not going to make them feel dumb. Say, well, I'm not telling you I'm getting sick of this, you know. I'm saying, okay, I want you to go look in the book, or what I want you to do is call customer service and ask them what, you know, about this placement issue or whatever. And then I want you to send an email to place, you know, I'll kind of give them the next step that they have to do all by themselves. And then if you can't find the answer, they give me a call. And I start doing that more and more and more until pretty soon they start doing it all by themselves. Okay, so we're going to stop this part. Sorry, we've got to get to the spa stuff. So I'll just take a few minutes break. You guys can take whatever break you want to take and we'll get to the spas. So sorry we're starting late on that. Don't forget we have raffle tickets for sale. We still have a lot of oils over here that we're going to be giving away. We have the Trim Shake. We have a whole Aroma Touch kit that we're giving away. And the raffle, the price of the raffle tickets, what the money goes to is paying for the venue, paying for the room. And let's see, what are they? You can go get more raffle tickets out there. What are they? They're 5 tickets for $5, 12 tickets for $10, and 25 tickets for $20. Okay?